It's time for some R&R. Hey YouTube, we have Leonard here. Bringing guys and gals, Kono Oto, we're doing another review. I'm not exactly sure what to call this particular arc. I was stuck between Christmas Eve, New Year's, the mall performance. I'm going to call this the New Year's Eve performance arc. I think that's what's going to kind of sit for me. And really this is covering the period of time directly after the preliminaries. So we see our group come back from preliminaries, and Suzuka Sensei in particular looks at them and he says, you guys are getting the rest of the day off. I don't want you thinking about the Koto. I want you guys just to have downtime and have fun. And it's funny because Kurata and everyone was just like, oh, we're going to practice. We have to practice even harder. But one of the things I really liked about this chapter, I think this was chapter 55 to start it off, we get a scene with Merio, and in particular, it was Osuke talking to Kurata's brother. At the end of the day, this whole period for nationals, I believe they have about 8 months. So the fact that they just finished their preliminaries and now there's an 8-month gap, Osuke is highlighting the fact that there are teams who completely lose rhythm because either A, they don't do enough and they lose that fire, or they over practice, they overextend themselves, and they end up completely exhausted and dead by the time nationals comes through. So it's interesting we got that little perspective from the Medio standpoint, and then you see Suzuka recognizing this, of course. You guys have to take a break. So this string of like 2 to 3 chapters for me personally was very enjoyable because you got to see our characters just have some well-needed downtime. Kurata and Kurusu are going to go to a karaoke party, which would be cool. Hotsuki, this was big news and we should have seen this coming, but she's invited back. She's home. She's now back at the Hotsuki estate. She's with her mother. That is good. She's moving her stuff back in. And we've had, like, with the guys, some really nice moments. Chika decides to go visit his grandfather's grave. And honestly, it was a really touching moment. He sat down, he had the trophy, and at one point you can even see like him envisioning his grandfather just like putting his hand on his head. And it was good because when you think about Chika as a character, we can't lose sight of the fact that a lot of this stems back to his grandfather's influence. His grandfather is the reason why he gave the Koto Club a chance. Well, he gave the Koto a chance, and how it changed his life and how dear his grandfather was to him. So I do like that after this really pivotal moment in Chika's life, he returns back to that site, and it was nice. It was really beautiful. It was really nice to see our 3 main guys, and then obviously Chika and Tetsuki. They all had a sleepover, they had a good time, and Tetsuki even reminisces and thinks that it's just nice seeing them be normal, not have to worry about the Koto, and kind of just relax after putting in so much work and effort. So all in all, these chapters were really dedicated to our group just having a really nice time and just relaxing. Now, where there was a lot of drama, however, was Kurusu and Kurata. So if you guys remember from a previous arc that took place, Kurusu developed pretty strong feelings for Kurata, but we didn't really know how he felt about her. That changes completely. So they go to this karaoke party, and initially Kurata didn't want to go because, let's be real, that's not really his scene. But because Kurusu looked so disappointed, he reacted and he decided to go. Now, it's all these popular girls and guys, and her friend is trying to get her to hook up with the greatest looking guy in school and everything, but Kurusu doesn't care because she likes Kurata. But in the process, he says, because he doesn't want to get in her way, he's like, oh no, have fun. She gets jealous. She's just like, wow, you don't even care. So then she tries to play it off, but then in the process, she gets frustrated and she just runs out and leaves. Kurata, he runs after her. They're sitting down. They're sharing a beautiful moment. I loved it. And then this is where I got angry. So she indirectly reveals the fact that she likes him. She ends up saying the words, and now I even get to be with you. She's wearing his jacket right now. And then afterwards, she's blushing. She's happy because she's with Kurata. That's what she wanted all along. So for her to utter those words, everyone, including Kurata, can take this as like a soft confession. She's basically saying like she wanted to be with him. Why does she want to be with him? Because she has feelings for him. So she recognizes she said this, Kurata recognizes she says this, and I'm like, let's go, tear down the barriers, let's get this over with, let's go. Alas, it does not work out that way, because Kurusu, which leads to even more drama, Kurusu decides to end up saying the fact that what she said, just ignore it. She misspoke. And I really felt for Kurata in that situation because that hurts. Because he's thinking for a second like, oh wait a second, I have a shot. And it's because we end up learning he does indeed like her. He's so frustrated and angry by this moment, and he's not really able to face her because in his mind he realizes, I have feelings for Kurusu. So for her to say that she just simply misspoke and get his hopes up, it hurts him. Absolutely hurts him. In the end though, the chapters go on and they end up reconciling, which is nice. She reflects on the fact that she doesn't want to reveal her feelings at this point in time. It's frustrating, it sucks, yes. But at the same time, she knows that this is the right thing to do for her, for the club. She doesn't want to reveal her feelings yet. She wants to wait until after nationals to actually confess and give her piece in terms of how she feels about him. So all in all, I thought that was really nice. And when she ended up saying this to Kurata and thanking him, it went even back the other way. Then he was thanking her. It was just a very beautiful moment. All in all, they made up. And now we know specifically that Kurata does in fact like her. So I consider that a big success from a reader standpoint. Now the second part of this arc, which was really interesting, I'm going to fast forward. They end up meeting Sensei's sister. And I think that was really cool because Sensei's sister, Suzuka Sensei, she highlights the fact that she was hopeful that he started just doing music again for the sake of it. When she learns that he was doing music specifically because of the Koto Club, it meant a lot to her. It showed her the fact that Suzuka's actually making relationships, that he cared so much about the Koto Club that it spurred him to actually make music. And I think that was a really nice moment that we had. But we also get the reveal that they're going to be doing a performance in a shopping mall. So this is what I call the New Year's Eve performance, basically, or it was New Year's Day. I don't really fully remember, but during this New Year's performance, they're in a mall. Now, initially, they're thinking they're going to be on this big stage in front of a crowd. It's going to be good. And Suzuka's kind of like laughing to himself. They find out they're playing in the middle of one of the aisles of the mall. If you've been in the shopping mall before, you know this is like where they have the kiosk and stuff. They're playing on like the little green space where you have like children toys and stuff where the children run around. And they're just supposed to play the Koto there. Why is this an issue? No one wants to hear them. No one really cares about the Koto Club group. They're playing for people who don't want to listen to them. They're on the phone. You have children just trying to be annoying. You have people rushing because they're making sale announcements and just running by them. So now imagine you're a high schooler trying to play in that environment. That is hard. That is very frustrating. It's kind of demotivating. And it was kind of cool because you see their thought process throughout the performance. Chika's getting angry. Kurata's just like, I don't know how to find my sound. Everyone's kind of thinking for a second that, oh look, I was up here because of the preliminaries. And then when you see people ignoring you, you start to fall a bit, you start to fall. And they start to panic and they just start going all over trying to figure out like, I need to find my sound, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I believe the key was ultimately Hotsuki. Hotsuki plays calmly and then after is able to identify her sound and she soothes them in a sense. At this point in time, they realize, and it was kind of similar to the effect that I'd say Chika had during the Kanto Music Festival when they were all falling apart. Once they heard Hotsuki, it was admired to them that no, it doesn't matter if people don't care about our performance. It doesn't care if we're distracting people and all this other stuff is happening. We need to have our sound. They finally found their sound that moment. And that's what Suzuka was trying to get across to them at the end of the day. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, whether it's the grandest of stages or people don't care, you need to play your sound, even in less than optimal conditions. And what was the result? All these people who were previously ignoring them, people started to trickle in from the sales. People who were on the phone, all of a sudden the one guy was just like, hey, let me call you back. There's something interesting happening. And the kids were just like, oh, this is so cool. So all in all, it was a success for them. Now I will say this because I did read a little bit ahead from the time of this recording. You have two individuals who are paying close attention to everything taking place. We see someone filming and we see another guy who's walking by. We do get introduced to these two characters in the next chapter or two, I believe. And they do go to the same school as Kurata, Chika, and everybody. They're underclassmen. So I will leave that at that. That's just something I did realize because I read about 3 chapters ahead. But we'll get to that in the next review. So with that, everyone, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Good mini arc, very enjoyable. I love the romance downtime we tend to get in between arcs where they focus on the romance and some of the other slice of life elements happening with the group. So with that, we're going to end it here. I'm Leonard and I'm out. Take care, everybody. Peace.